6-0 in the division because the rest of the division sucks.
It sucks.
Take that step back. We are seeing the true quarterback that he really is, which he is not a very good quarterback.
Welcome to the Man Now, where we taking over. It's time to give you them facts. Won't miss a game or two, cause we here for you and we reporting all of them stats. We coming to you live to keep you updated. Broadcast across the country, we the fan favorites. Break the volume to the max and don't nobody touch it. We crossing topics off the list, addressing every subject. So if you ain't got a clue, then you can tune in and give it 24 hours and we back again. Breaking news, new scoops, we the top dogs. From the fields to the courts, we report it all. Buzzer beaters through your speakers, we the ones to call. Trust us for the news if it's got a ball. Giving you the top stories cause we love the turf. Tell a friend to tune in and where you heard it first. Yeah, you're listening to the Man Now. We taking over, it's time to give you them stats. Yeah, you listen to the Man Now. Miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them facts. Yeah, you listen to the Man Now. We taking over, it's time to give you them facts. Turn the speakers up a little loud. Miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them stats. You listen to the Man Now.
Sometimes, Wyatt, you just got to sit back and let the beat build, man. You just got to let it build and build and build. Much like what the Milwaukee Bucks did last night in Game 6 for the NBA Finals. Let it build, Wyatt. And welcome to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeye along with D. Wyatt Williams tonight. What is going on? What's going on? What's going on? We do have an action-packed show for you guys tonight. We're going to talk some Bucks. They won the NBA Finals last night. We're going to talk to Dallas Cowboys as well. Cam Akers, a little Ohtani. Buy, sell Buffalo Bills. And of course, we got Would You Rather coming in as well tonight, Wyatt. So let's go ahead and get jumped right into the sports talk here. And as you know, Wyatt, the Milwaukee Bucks won last night, Game 6. Giannis went off last night, 50 points, 14 boards, and 5 block shots, if I'm not mistaken.
Something ridiculous.
And you sat right here on the Man Hour last night, Wyatt, and you called this game. You said the Bucks were going to come out and they were going to win a close game, and that's exactly what they did. So let's talk about the finals. Like, what did you think of the finals last night?
I'll even take it back even further, and I got to give credit to Tori as well, because we both called it whenever the Bucks went down 0-2. We said, hey, the Bucks are going to win this, and if they're going to do it, they're going to have to win it in 6 at Milwaukee. They're not going to win it in Phoenix. They're going to have to win it. They're going to have to win 2 home games, 1 game on the road, and then that final game, Game 6, which they did win it, they'll have to win it at home. And they did it in front of a crowd of 61,000 people.
Did you see that picture that Tori sent us at 10 o'clock last night?
Yes.
That was so Tori Anderson at Man Hour _ Tori on the old Twitter machine sent us this picture outside the stadium. There was probably 100,000 people, buttholes and assholes there. It was just elbows and assholes. It was like, wow.
They're pressed up against each other. It was nuts. It is the largest gathering that I've seen since pre-COVID.
Well, it's the largest gathering I've seen since the Royals won the World Series back in 2015.
That's true, but
yeah,
it was an incredible game, and Giannis is, and I said this on Twitter, and I'm telling you right now, Giannis is the most accomplished, by far. He's the most accomplished 26-year-old of all time. Let me get this here. Let me see. Okay. He has a title younger than LeBron and MJ, both. Title younger than both of them. He has Finals MVP already, 2-time league MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, 5-time All-Star, NBA Most Improved Player, 5-time All-NBA, 4-time All-Defensive Selection, and an All-Star MVP for Mr. Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's the most accomplished 26-year-old of all time, and nobody will change my mind on that. And I think that he is well on the road to eventually being in that GOAT conversation. I'm not putting him in there yet. Don't take me wrong here. I'm not saying he's there by any means. He's got a lot more to do till he gets there.
Right.
But he's on the road. He's headed in the general direction of that.
So let's not talk about GOAT. Let's just talk the face of the NBA moving forward here in the 2022 season. Is he the face of the NBA? Heck, is he the face of the Olympics?
I don't. Is he playing in the Olympics? I didn't see that. I think it's just Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton and Devin Booker.
I thought all 3 brothers were playing for the same team, right?
For Greece, they might be. I don't remember seeing that. But what I do know is I saw that Devin Booker is going to have to fly on a plane today or tomorrow, one of the two. And he's going to have to fly with Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday to Tokyo, all the way to Tokyo. You know how awkward that plane flight is going to be with the two dudes who just took the Larry O'Brien out of your hands after you went up 2-0. I mean, that's got to suck for him. But
it won't be weird, but it's going to be a long flight. That's for sure. Because that's probably like a 20-hour flight, and then you're stored for the basketball game. That's got to be rough.
Did you see Giannis with the Chick-fil-A today, and took the Larry O'Brien in the Finals MVP with him, the Bill Russell Award, and he ordered 50 chicken nuggets and 50 like the little chicken sandwiches.
Yeah,
and his Instagram lives are my favorite. I love everything about it, but that guy is hilarious. And that girl that was like they're helping them, she thought it was hilarious. He asked, he was like, "Do you mind if I put you on my live?" And she was like, "Please go ahead. I'd love that."
Tag me, please. Tag me.
Right, please tag me. Right. So no, she goes, "How many nuggets do you want?" He goes, 50. I'll take 50. And I was like,
That's stupid. That's stupid, man. Come on, get out of
That's hilarious.
So speaking of the face of 2022 and like whatnot, Vegas come out with their odds for next year winning the NBA title, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. Like how they're already putting these odds out for next year, but of course they got to be the first ones to do it. But the Bucks are a plus 800. They're the third favorite to win the title next year. So why do you see them repeating at all?
I could see them doing it. I don't. It's so hard to repeat in the NBA. It's incredibly hard to do.
Any league.
We're absolutely in any league. It's incredibly hard to repeat. Are they capable of doing it? Absolutely. I mean, we just saw it. Will they do it? I don't know. The West is getting better, and it's only getting better from here too. Like, I mean, you've got players that are coming into the West. Kawhi is possibly going to be coming into the East from the West. That's a big star. You've got the Nets who have built their little super team up in Brooklyn. The Heat are starting to do what?
Super overrated team.
Right. The Heat are starting to look really good. There's a bunch of rumors of Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, or Damian Lillard, one of those three, coming to the Lakers to join LeBron. So that increases that team even more. Dallas is always an incredible team in the West. So it's going to be a long road. The Hawks are starting to look really good. Trae Young is starting to fill out. So honestly, I think they're capable of doing it. I absolutely do. I mean, I know I'm waffling right now really badly, and I'm not trying to. They're absolutely capable of doing it, but I don't know. I mean, it is tough to repeat, and the league every year seems to get better and better talent-wise. I mean, right. It's incredible. And Cade Cunningham's entering the league too. This is a decent little rookie class. So, like I say, it just gets better every year.
Well, and like that's my biggest thing is like the draft hasn't even happened yet. So like we don't even know what these teams are going to look like in 2022. But the top 5 teams that have the best odds of winning the title next year are the Nets at plus 210, the Lakers at plus 450, the Bucks plus 800, the Warriors plus 1200, and then the Suns are plus 1300. So of those top 5 or those top 6 teams that I just named, who are you going to pick to win the finals?
That's tough. I think. The Nets looked overrated this year for sure. I think they're definitely going to be in contention next year. They've just got to make sure they keep everybody healthy. That was really their main issue this year. Right. Honestly, I think if the Nets were healthy, I don't even think the Bucks would have beat them. And they went on to win the title.
Interesting. Okay.
So hot take there for you. But I don't know. I mean, I think if the Lakers get a good point guard, like a Russell Westbrook, like a Chris Paul, like a Damian Lillard, I don't know. I don't know if anybody can compete with that. Also, you've got the Warriors coming back. So, once they get Clay back healthy, if they could possibly land another star, maybe Kawhi, I don't know. That's a tough. If I have to choose, I think I'm just going to go Lakers because it's a safe option here. LeBron James has a really good resume as for making the finals and 100%. Competing. So, if I've got to choose, I'm going to go Lakers, but only because LeBron, like I said, has such a great, legacy of making it.
Yeah. Well, and what is not a good legacy right now is his acting career. Space Jam was by far the worst movie that I've seen. in a very, very long time. And I was very disappointed.
You didn't like it?
I did not like it at all.
See,
not one bit.
I enjoyed Space Jam, but yes, LeBron's acting was horrible. Like it was quite
so forced. It was so forced.
It was bad. It was quite possibly the worst acting I think I've ever seen. Now I think now that I've seen both, I think the original Space Jam is better, but I did like this one. I liked it, but the only thing I didn't like, there was two things I didn't like. LeBron's acting, of course, which was beyond it was just so cringy. It just wasn't right.
Yeah.
And then the second thing that I didn't like is it wasn't LeBron's real kids. You know, with social media nowadays and how active on social media LeBron and his kids are,
right?
You know, everybody knows who Bronny is. Everybody knows who his kids are. They know what they look like, you know, all that stuff. So in a world full of social media, we know what these guys look like. We know who they are. So I think that kind of killed part of it for me, was that his kids weren't in it. Those weren't his real kids. I think that was kind of and his wife too. It wasn't his real wife. I think that was kind of the part where I was like, I don't know if, you know, I'm not a big fan of that. That was the one thing I didn't like. It was the only thing that was, you know, it was better than LeBron's acting. I'll say that, but it was a very close second to worst over LeBron's acting. It was bad. It was really bad, actually.
You know, like, I'm kind of going off script here, but, you know, like watching LeBron James play in the NBA and watch him flopping and just like acting on the court, pretty damn good 9 times out of 10, right? And to see him act like that in a movie, I was like, are you serious? Like you do better acting on the court, man, than you are in actual acting in a movie. Like, what is wrong with you on that? And
see, whenever they got into the basketball scenes, he was okay, I felt like, acting wise. But when he was away from basketball and he was talking, it was so awkward. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just, wasn't right.
Well, if you go back and watch the original Space Jam with like Michael Jordan, his acting wasn't very good either, and like until the basketball scenes, right? You know, when they're like doing like the team huddle and like the fake, you know, super juice or whatever they had like kids like,
or no, it was not LeBron juice. MJ's, what was it? It was MJ's secret sauce, wasn't it?
I don't know. I don't know what it was, but like that acting was pretty good. But the actual, you know, when he was like in his house, like with the kids and the dog, you know, when the whole Fred Flintstone scenes, when the little bulldog jumps on him, oh no, don't hurt me. That was pretty cringy too. Let's be honest about that. So, all right, guys. So we are going to take our first break of the night. We got some Would You Rather coming up here on the Man Hour. So sit back and relax and join some commercial breaks. I guess we'll be right back.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
And welcome back to Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckhouse along with D. Wyatt Williams tonight. You can head over to Twitter right now and check us out on the old Twitter machines. That's that find the right button. There we go. At manhour_TWW. Of course, at manhour_Buck. But today, before we get into Would You Rather, Wyatt, we released episode number 2 of your guys' fantasy show, yours and Tori's, here at 10:45 East Coast time. I actually released it 15 minutes early than said last night. But just tell the people what the fantasy podcast is all about here. The fantasy show.
Absolutely.
Clip, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, so the fantasy football show is $2.99 a month, and you get all of the information you need to win your league. And we talk about all of those guys. Our last episode, just a little sneak peek at it. I gave one last night. I'll give it again. We talked about all of the guys who are late round guys in your draft who can go on to win your league, as well as the time before we talked about all of those flex options that can go on to win your league. The flex options are a really important part of the fantasy football game. It's a do or die position, as well as those late round guys you can start week to week. So me and Tori were really excited to get this thing rolling. We're really excited to get this thing to get it going, and we're having a lot of fun with it. But yeah, $2.99 per month. And it's all of the information that you will need to win. Not come in second, third, fourth, fifth, but win. Number one, stand at the top end, get your trophy. $2.99 a month, you win your fantasy league. And that is our fantasy football show.
Yeah, and I'm actually bringing up a quick clip here and let you guys listen to it. So I'll let you guys give a little sneak peek here. Let you guys hear it.
All of that great, and I do mean great, fantasy football knowledge you're going to need to win. Not come in second like I do every year. Not come in third, fourth, or beyond, but win. Take home the big trophy and all that money of your fantasy football group. $2.99 a month is all this costs. You're here now. You know that. Tell a friend. We would love for anybody to be able to join this. And like we talked about you.
Oh, it's still loading. Hotel Wi-Fi at its greatest right now. There it goes.
There it is. This was the guy that I thought personally that year should have went number 1 overall to the Browns, but they went with Baker Mayfield, and as of right now, it's paid off 110%. Everybody who's listening right now knows how much I love Baker. He's a top 5 quarterback coming up this year.
That's a lie.
But we're talking about Sam Darnold here. I am just very excited to get to see this guy finally break out, to finally get to feel loose, to finally get to set in the pocket for longer than 0.001 seconds and not have to run for his life before throwing an off-balance throw on his back foot.
So that is just a little clip there, Wyatt. So the people that didn't catch the actual part of it here, like who were you talking about there?
Sam Darnold. Talking about Sam Darnold. I'm excited to see what Sam Darnold's going to do in Carolina this year, man. I mean, like I said in that clip, you saw it there. He's finally going to know what it's like to get to have less than or more than 0.01 seconds to throw. Sam Darnold has been rushed his entire NFL career, on top of the fact that he had Adam Gase as a head coach. Trash. He had the Jets offensive line for the last couple of years, trash. The Jets wide receiver core for the last couple of years, trash. The Jets defense backing him up on the other side, trash. I mean, like it's like the most dysfunctional NFL franchise. It's horrible. And he's finally going to get away from it. And he's going to have 2 great wide receiver options, a decent, tight end option, a good running back option in CMC. We're finally get to see what this guy can do. So I'm very excited.
So every Wednesday at 10:45 East Coast time, or 10:45 a.m. East Coast time, we'll be dropping a new episode, and they also answer you guys' questions here about the fantasy game as well. So you can hit up Wyatt at manhour_TWW and ask him any fantasy football question that you might have, and they'll answer it on the show there. So simply head over to youtube.com/manhour and just hit that join button, and the $2.99 deal gets you access to the fantasy show, the after show, that which will come back in August when I'm back in studio and able to actually work my magic with like my 7 screens and all that good stuff. So we will be talking heavily about fantasy football a lot moving forward, because we are starting the Pan Hour Fantasy League.
I'm winning it, by the way.
The draft probably like August 10th. So second weekend.
I was going to say, we got to do the draft here pretty soon. I mean, we ain't got much time left. The preseason starts in 2 weeks. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I mean,
football's already
after
back.
preseason. We'll do it
cannot
week
wait.
3 of preseason. So let's get into would you rather, Wyatt. And normally Combs gives us some pretty good would you rather and sometimes pretty edgy would you rathers. So I'm going to go and
Edgy.
on the other edgy, yeah. So I'm going to go on the other path of would you rather tonight, and we're going to get some like personal questions, right? It's just so that people get to know us and
Oh
you know,
God, here we go.
and like I mean they're not going to be edgy or on the or these are just solid questions that people want to know about you. So Wyatt Williams, would you rather have telekinesis, the ability to move things with your mind, or telepathy, the ability to read minds? So do you want to be able to move things or read minds?
I don't know. I think telekinesis maybe, because like I don't know if the remote's across the room from you, I can just be like the force, and just change the channel or something. I that's a tough one. That's a really good, because like there's like big time pros for both of them. And there's not really any cons of either one. Like both of them, they're just super cool. Like would be awesome to have. Like would I rather know what people are thinking 24/7 with telekinesis or no? That's what is that?
Telepathy.
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 Yes.
Whatever. Telepathy.
So I think I guess telekinesis, because I guess that, because I could move stuff. I could work while laying in bed. Like, hey, pencil, write that essay. Right? Like I don't know.
So I am a married man, happily married man for 4+ years now. But I can tell you, I can never tell you what my wife is thinking at all. She can be giving me that like that look and be like, "What?" She's like, "Oh, nothing. Keep doing what you're doing," and she means the total opposite, right? I want to be able to read her mind and like, what is she really thinking about? What is she really thinking right now? Maybe I don't, like, because she does watch a lot of that investigative Discovery Channel, like how to get away with murder and stuff like that.
Right. So
maybe I don't want to know, but at the same time,
or maybe you do want to know, that way you can survive or like be ready for something that's coming.
Right. So yeah. I want to be able to read people's minds, especially my wife's. That would be fantastic. So the next, would you rather hear, Wyatt? Would you rather be in jail for 5 years or be in a coma for 10 years?
Jail for 5, because at least I'm conscious. I mean, I feel like just a coma, like, at least if I was in jail for 5 years, I'm sure I could learn something through that. Like there's some kind of an experience that I would get, learning from.
You will learn how to get bent over and
no, that's not what I was looking for. That's not exactly what I was looking for. But, no, I think if you're in a coma, I just feel like, but also I feel like if you're in a coma, like there's a possibility of like a super dope, what's up, Drew? Super dope experience, like, an out of body experience, or like, you ever seen the movie Heaven is for Real, where the Colton kid goes to heaven whenever he's in a coma? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's a really big chance of that happening too if you're in a coma for 10 years. So, yeah, I take jail for 5, because at least either way, you're basically in jail because you don't have freedom because you're out of it for 5 years or 10 years. So I'm going to take 5 because it's fewer years. And like I said, and I'm conscious. Like,
would you get a prison tat?
No, I would not get a prison tat. I'm not really into tattoos. Not my thing.
I would definitely want to be.
Nikki loves them, but I don't have any. Nikki's got like 3 or 4. I don't have. I have none though.
I'm getting a sleeve next week. So
are you really?
So I want to be in a coma just because, like, I've seen the inside of a jail and I don't want to experience it for 5 years. Like, that's something that I don't want to do, like, at all. Like,
when were you in jail?
There was that one night when I was drinking jungle juice and a random possum run out in the road, and I ended up losing my clothes and running down the street naked through Aggieville. And yeah. Go ahead.
We're streaking to the court.
We were streaking by chasing possums, and I ran into a police officer. No.
Hello, Mr. Officer.
we can get in that to the after show by
true story. I thought you were kidding.
You'll find out in the after show. How do you become access to the after show? YouTube.com/manhour and hit that join button. Little 99 cents a month. You can become a after show member. So
Jesus.
So with that being said, Drew wants to come up here and be politically correct. Jailers for a year, prison is over 1 year. I mean, I've seen people in county jail for like 5 years, and that's not prison, right? I don't know.
I don't hang out with jail and prisoners.
All right, so
I couldn't tell you. My grandma's a cop. That's about as close as I ever got to law enforcement.
Hey, she tempted me with some good time. I do like a woman with authority. All right. So next, would you rather here? All right. So would you rather vomit on your hero or have your hero vomit on you?
Hero vomit on me. That's easy because then they would feel bad. Like, and they would like want to pay it back, I guess. So it'd be like, let's say Aaron Rodgers vomits on me. Okay. Aaron would be like, hey, here's a signed helmet. I'm sorry. If I vomited on Aaron, I'd probably get shot. Like there would be like no middle of the road on that. You know what I mean? Like if you vomit on your hero, it's just odd. It's awkward.
So is Aaron Rodgers your hero?
I'm like Aaron I've always LeBron is probably my favorite all around athlete of all time.
But like, who's your hero?
My hero, like my life hero?
Yeah.
Probably my dad.
Yeah. And you puked on your dad, so I'm sure.
Oh, I've puked on my dad before. Yeah, no, I'd definitely rather puke on my dad then.
Yeah. Man.
I would not want my dad to puke on me.
So I can handle blood. I can handle some poop until like my son just pooped on the floor earlier. There's a man-sized poop there that I had to clean up. That was freaking gross. But
honey, who dropped the turd on the floor? Was this you?
There is something about vomit, man, that makes me want to vomit. So like if somebody were to vomit on me, dude, I would like instantly just like and it stinks so bad. Like, oh, like I can like taste it in my mouth right now just thinking about it. It's just, oh, dude, I'm gonna vomit on somebody all day long. I cannot have anybody vomit on me at all. That is gross. What's up, Nana? As she pops in the chat here. So the last would you rather here, Wyatt? You talked about the tallest human being that you saw on Purdue University on Monday. So yeah. Would you rather be 11 feet tall or 9 inches tall?
11 feet. I would go play in the NBA. I would make millions. Literally, just pass me the ball and I'll just reach over and just drop it in the hoop. Like we'd win titles. Like that would be easy. Give me the 11 foot. Because if you're just 9 inches tall, like I just feel like there's not much experience in life. You'll never be able to ride a roller coaster. You'll never be able to, really do anything. You're like a baby your entire life. That would be terrible.
Yeah. So fun fact, my boys come out like 16 inches tall. So you'd be half the size of like my boys when they came out. No. Actually, I lied. River was 22 and Trip was 24.
I was very sad. I thought I remember you telling me they were bigger because when I was born, I was 22 inches. I was 10 pounds, 22 inches.
They were big boys. They were both over 12 pounds. So natural birth, by the way, shout out to Cindy on that. But when like you are 11 feet tall, you can't do anything that you just said. You can't ride roller coasters. You can't drive in cars. Everything has to be special made. But when you're at least 9 inches tall, you at least get a special parking spot. You get a handicap spot because you're a certified like midget. Like at that point, like you get money from the government every month because you're
we're canceled. Why did you say that?
What? My cousin's a certified midget. Or
don't stop saying that word.
You can't say midget.
No.
What's so bad about midget? That's what they're called.
It's like offensive, isn't it, or something? Everybody gets offended about everything today, Buck. You know this.
Well, Combs is a midget, so and would you rather be called a midget or like an elf?
That's horrible. I am not answering that question.
No, but okay, a certified short person. So my cousin is under the I think you have to be under 4'8" as like a person over 18 to be be considered this, and she's 4'6.5". So she's like just under that threshold, which is really, really funny because the rest of our family is all like 6'5", 6'6". So, but all right. So that's going to be would you rather for tonight. Why we kind of took a light note on the things here, but we're going to get into some sports headlines here after this next break. We got some Cam Akers to talk about, some Ohtani, and of course we're going to talk the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, greatest team in the NFL moving forward. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. And Michael along with B. Wyatt Williams.
What is that?
So
what was that?
Cindy sent me this video last night, and like after the show, she is just rolling in bed. I'm like, what are you laughing about? And it's a solid like 15 minutes. She's like hysterically, like when you like laugh so much, you're like you start to like cry, you just can't stop.
Yeah.
Well, he was watching this video, and it didn't play. I had to play the sound, but the dude falls from the ceiling, and like he's like, "Hey, Ron," and the dude's like, "Hey, Billy, did you fall again?" And like he's like, "Yeah, I think I'm okay though." It was just like it was one of the funniest clips I've ever seen.
I couldn't hear it. Why didn't it say that?
Because I forgot to unmute it like on my side, so that was my bad.
Play it again. Unmute it.
Let me go ahead and pull it back up here.
Hear this.
It's like, "Hey, Ron. Hey, Billy." Yeah, here, give me 1 second. This is the Man Hour, guys. We can do whatever we want.
Live, raw, and uncut, man.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Unpolitically driven, by the way. Just want to point that out there.
Hey, Billy. That hurt. All right, don't look at muscle.
Hey, Ron. Hey, Billy. You fall again? Yeah.
Don't move a muscle.
Don't move a muscle. Hold still.
Like she was laughing just like that, man, for like 15 minutes, just like historically, and then of course, I saw it, so I start laughing for like. So we're up for like half hour watching this 30-second clip, like 15 minutes. It was ridiculous. So
It's just so funny how like
yeah. So
they're so casual about it. Like, I wonder how many times this happens.
I don't know, but like as soon as I was like, man. So let's go ahead and jump back into the chat here. So during break, Drew's like, Buck, I feel sorry for your wife, and then I'm like, well, why is that? And she's like, and then he's like, 2 kids, 12 pounds. That gives a whole new meaning to the word ouch. Yeah. So the first one, so all moms know this, they like the first, like when you had the first kid, like you have to like build the path, right? Like you have to build the path for the baby to come, and they
To
turn
build
down
the path. What do you mean?
So like how can I explain?
You gotta
this?
remember,
Why?
Buck, I've never had a kid before.
Right.
I don't have one for a long time.
Well, so it is like when you plow a road for the first time. So like let's say you're going through trees, and you're making a road. You got to move all those trees like out of the way. But like once the road's built, it gets easier to drive down the road, right?
Right.
So the first baby is plowing the trees out of the way, right? Making that path, and then the second and third baby, gets and it, like, so then you get gravel, and then you get asphalt, and then you get the concrete, and you get the 4-lane highway. You know what I'm saying now?
Right. By the
Right.
10th kid, you're basically just shooting out like peasants.
Yeah, right. So this is a sports show, but let's just dive into it, right? So basically, on that first kid, like you are supposed to like push like you're taking a poop, I guess, right? And they kept saying that
right now?
no, like I like, you want to know, so I'm giving you some like life advice first, like
Right.
first things first. So let's just walk through the whole thing. I mean, shoot, like we have time to kill. So when you have your first baby, you are supposed to push, or like a baby in general, you are supposed to push like you're taking a bowel movement, like you're getting ready to like poop. Well, apparently she wasn't pushing correctly or something, or not hard enough or something, so they had to turn down the epidural. Well, they turned it down too much, so she felt everything, and 20 hours later, she's like Rivers, our firstborn, his head kept popping in and popping out, popping in, popping out. He was basically playing peekaboo. Cindy does the exorcist on me, and she's like, "Get this baby out of me!" Like, whoa, calm down, baby. And then so
You just say she went exorcist on you.
why? Like,
Get this baby out of me.
Well, I mean, she was pushing for like, I don't know, 8 or 9 hours, right? She was like in labor for 12. And
That's
she's
crazy.
Like, she's like, "This baby out of me." And like, I kind of chuckled. She's like, "What are you laughing at?" I'm like, nothing. My bad. So River finally comes, and I mean, like, you cry, but I'm standing there holding her leg and holding her hand, and River comes out, and a big old gush of air comes flying out, and blood, and the afterbirth comes out flying on my legs, and I'm like, "Oh, that's freaking gross." But I cut the old umbilical cord, and I pass out. So fun fact on that.
Did you really?
Dude, like, why? Like, I can handle like broken bones and blood and like poop and like all that stuff.
I can't handle blood.
For some reason, cutting that like that skin. First of all, like when River came out, a big old warm goosh of white air, or like hot air, just comes flying past your leg, and stuff's all over. It was like, that was gross in the first part.
Oh.
But like, it felt like you were cutting like a steak with like scissors almost. It's like, what in the world? So Yeah. But
Oh man.
so yeah, I mean, and then the afterbirth was, that whole ordeal was kind of scary, but we'll get into that like some other time. Like it was just crazy. Stitched her up and whatnot. So that was really, really scary. But then Trip came and, she had a nice epidural. She just sitting there all loopy. She's laying on her side. She has the ball, I think I like that big exercise ball. She's flopping back and forth. And, it's like 2:00 in the afternoon and, she's been induced and the nurse walks in and she's like, oh, there's a head there. so yeah, I mean,
My God.
yeah, it was just like wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. So drugs are a good thing. So, but yeah, this show went sideways quickly,
Like
didn't
way
it?
sideways. Like
But,
this
yeah.
is the most sideways I think we've ever gone.
Yeah, and then Drew says she called you everything but a white man. Yeah, 100%. Like Cindy, well, you've met Cindy. She's a very gentle, soft-spoken person, right?
Yeah.
When her head turned all the way around, she grabbed me by the shirt. Get this baby out of me! I was like, shit. Whoa, this better be worth it.
Yes, sir. Salute.
And so me being a smart ass white, the one thing I want to do is like, well, what do you want me to do? No, but like I kept my mouth shut. I didn't say anything because like at that moment she had me by the shirt. I was like, I was scared. I was legitimately scared. But yeah, and a nut about Nana says good job on the layman's terms and the description. Yeah, I mean, like that's one thing that I pride myself on is like I can take stuff that people don't understand and make them to where they understand it. So like I definitely. And then Drew says my wife had a C-section and I made the mistake of looking over the barrier while Dolph was putting her back inside, almost fainted. Yeah. So
my dad, see, my mom had me through a C-section. My dad always makes the joke of if my mom ever sees my dad how he saw her, my dad will be dead. Literally.
So our doctor, or what's it called? Our gynecologist made us watch a video on a C-section that like she just gave, and all the insides were outside of the body, and she grabs the what's it called, the flipping tubes or like whatever, and she starts flapping around and she's like, look, it's the bat wings. And I was like, you better not have a C-section. That is gross. So but yeah, I mean,
Oh, that makes me want to pass out right now.
so let's go ahead and dive back into some sports talk here, Wyatt. So
we just literally for 20 minutes of the show just went completely off script and everything. It was beautiful.
I mean, that is what's so great about us is you never know what you're going to get, to be honest with you.
Right.
With you.
Literally.
But yeah. So speaking of what they're not going to get, the LA Rams and Cam Akers, they don't know what they're going to get here in the 2021 season. Now, Cam Akers ruptured his Achilles in a non-contact injury before training camp has even started. So Wyatt, many people had the Rams as favorite as going into the NFC Championship game and possibly going to the Super Bowl. Many people had them written in the Super Bowl almost. So what does this mean for the rest of the NFC if Cam Akers is not going to play in 2021?
Oh, I think that definitely across the NFC, you never want to see anyone get hurt. That's not at all what anybody wants. But at the same time, I'm sure that they're all happier that they will not be facing Cam Akers versus if they will be facing him, because Cam Akers is a great running back. We got to see that all last year. He can take a lot of downs. He's a great downhill runner. He fills the gaps. He, has great ball carrier vision once he passes the offensive line. So, it's definitely a huge loss for the Rams. And, a lot of the NFL is going to, I hate saying benefit because this is not a good thing at all, but a lot of the NFL is going to succeed in certain ways defensively, run defensively specifically, because of this. Now, I will say this puts all the pressure on Darnell Henderson, who was going to be the number 2 there, because the Rams have had a big situation over the last couple of years with having 3 to 4 to 2 running backs. They've never once, and ever since Todd Gurley left, they've never had a set RB1. It's always
Right.
every week was different. Last year was a toss up between Malcolm Brown, Cam Akers, and Darnell Henderson. And now I don't know where Malcolm Brown signed, but he left. He's gone. So it was just going to be Akers and Henderson this year. And what they were kind of going to do is Henderson is more of a speedy kind of, receiving back in a sense. And on the other hand, Akers was the kind of power runner. So, it actually will make, in my opinion, I think it makes the Rams, more exciting in a way to watch, because we're finally going to see what the Rams are going to run the same offense that they did when they had the Super Bowl run, because they're going to have a receiving running back who can run pretty good in Henderson. And they're going to have, of course, the great wide receiver core they've got. They've actually got a good, strong arm quarterback now to get those wide receivers and running backs the ball. They've got a decent offensive line. They've always got a great defense. Aaron Donald on any defense makes a defense great. So I think that it makes them a more pass-heavy team, because they lose their, running back, because now all they're left with is their pass-catching back, who will have to take up those reps. But if you ever watched Henderson play at Memphis, the guy can take a heavy workload. He's a nice runner. He's quick. He's small. He reminds me a lot of like, if I had to compare him to somebody, he's a little bit taller than Darren Sproles, but kind of runs like Darren Sproles. Can catch the ball really well, can also run. So, this is kind of the prove it to me season for Darnell Henderson, after we really haven't got to see what he's made of over the last couple of years. And yes, Drew says no, not Akers. Absolutely. I felt the same way, because I have Akers on my fantasy team, and I was excited for the pop-off year this year, but we'll just have to save that for a year from now, or maybe even 2 years down the road.
Yeah, did have a pop-off year, just not on the field, just in his Achilles.
That's a horrible job.
Is it too soon?
That's way too soon. That's way too. But and I
Sorry.
I can't even take it seriously.
Sorry, Rams fans.
But no, I mean, it's definitely a big loss for the Rams, and it's a big moment for Henderson to be a running back all by himself in a system now.
Right. The only positive coming out of this situation right now for the Rams is that in fact it did happen in July. It didn't happen in September or October. So training camp hasn't even started yet. So in theory, they are going to build a team around the roster that they have and act like Cam Akers was never there. Heck, they could even find a diamond in the rough in a free agent or a rookie that they have. And, he could have a pop-off year, take words out of Wyatt's mouth there. And then, heck, you got trade bait. You got trade bait for Cam Akers or the rookie or, even Henderson, right? Just so, this might be a blessing in disguise for the Rams per se, much like the Saquon Barkley injury was a blessing in disguise, I think, for the New York Giants as well, because, the Giants grew so much as a team with Barkley not in the lineup last year. So on the other side of the coin,
who's still on the market? I just looked it up to check and make sure.
As a free agent,
Gurley.
Do you think he goes back to LA?
I don't think he will, but it's funny he's still on there. Honestly, the one that I think makes the most sense and will most likely end up there, Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, I was going to say, it isn't Adrian Peterson, because he didn't sign with the Lions, I don't think.
Right.
So Todd Gurley and Adrian Peterson are both free agencies, huh?
Yeah, both of them. So there's still plenty of good options if they needed one. But like I said, I honestly don't think they'll sign a big name. If anything, they'll go sign
a running back as well. Darnell Williams, I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
So,
and Le'Veon Bell is still on the market too.
Right.
So they could even sign Le'Veon.
So let's go ahead and go sideways, like on this. Of those three names that you mentioned, Todd Gurley, Adrian Peterson, or Le'Veon Bell, do the Rams go after any of those three guys?
No, I don't think so. And if they were to, I think it would be Adrian Peterson. I don't think they're going to go after Todd Gurley, because they already let him walk once. And then for Le'Veon Bell, do what?
Todd Gurley kind of burned that bridge too, I think.
Yeah, there was a little bit of everything there. So I think the Todd Gurley situation isn't going to happen. Le'Veon is an interesting one. Le'Veon is, because the last two places he's gone, New York
He's a freaking
did nothing
head case. Let's just be honest.
Right. No, there was a lot of issues there. He left New York, went to Kansas City, and really didn't do anything in Kansas City. I mean,
Yeah. Maybe
he was an
100
RB.
yards.
He was like an RB3, wasn't he? Like he would even
4. Like I wouldn't even give him 3. He was probably 4, to be honest with you.
Right. He got like significant time, like one game, I think, and that was the Jets game, of course, because it's a revenge game and they'll let him run in that game. So on top of the fact that he's never been what he was since he left Pittsburgh.
Ever since he took that year off.
Right, seriously.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll look at him. So honestly, the only situation that I think they could do is Adrian Peterson, because AP is in a situation now where he's at a part of his career where he's looking for a place to play 1 or 2 more years and then retire.
How
he's
old
up
is
there in
he?
age.
He's like 36, 37, isn't he?
Yeah, something like that.
I feel like
He's up there. He's really up there.
Yeah. As a full tailback, especially
for a running back, right? The only other running back that comes to mind when I think of those, numbers and age is Frank Gore. That's really it, But I think Adrian Peterson's really the only one to me that makes sense because he's never played there. There's not really any burned bridges. He's not really been a head case at all. He did good things in Detroit. He did good things in Washington. He's shown that he can still run with power. He's shown that he can still run the ball downhill very well. I mean, he's not what he was, of course, in Minnesota, or else he'd be making, $100 million. But on the other hand, I think that he would be a decent fit there. He's a nice downhill runner. Henderson could pick up all of the, receiving sides. He doesn't have to run any routes. It's super easy. All he's got to do is just take handoffs and, run the ball. That's all they need him to do. And he probably won't be doing much of it because I really think that the Rams are going to focus on Henderson now because they drafted him with that, second overall pick 2 or 3 years ago. And they haven't really, they haven't really focused on him at all. They haven't really turned the limelight to him. So I think this is kind of their experimental year. I think that if they're looking at it right now, like, okay, look, we've never given this kid a shot. Brown left. Akers is gone now because of injury. I say we give this kid a shot. And I think that this is the year where they'll give him that shot. And from what I saw in college, this is a guy who I loved coming out of college. He's a sleeper guy. Nobody really knows about him much because he went to Memphis. But I think he's got a really good NFL career ahead of him if he can land in the right spot and can, play well. And I think that he can do both of those things in LA. So I think they sign AP to a veteran contract. For a year, maybe 2. I'd probably just a year because Akers will be back next year. And I think they let Henderson. I think they let him take the workload.
Well, and if you look back to the one time when Henderson was like a featured back, was that playoff game when they played the Cowboys, where he absolutely went off. He ran for like 200 yards versus the Cowboys like that game, and they could not stop him on third down. It was definitely a gut-wrenching loss for Cowboys fans here. So Combs, you missed the best part of the show so far, so you're definitely going to have to play back about the 40 minute mark on and go ahead and listen to that. But Combs says he has a fantasy question. Guy in my league put Rodgers and Adams on the block. Would you trade Brady, Fant, and Hilton and a future third round for the team?
Yeah, I would. See, you got Brady, Fant, Hilton. See, and then a third. So pretty much, and it's
pretty much, Combs. You got to find out on the Fantasy Podcast Show if you want to get that answer, man. That's just the way it is. We're going to take a short little break, guys, here on the Man Hour. How do you become a fantasy? Get access to the fantasy show? Wyatt, let them know.
Yeah, $2.99 a month is how you get there, and that's how you win your league.
Yes. So Combs, if you want advice, you can tune in every Wednesday at 10:45 East Coast time on the AM side and check it out. Why do you want to answer the question? Don't you?
Yes, I feel bad now. Yeah, I mean, especially if it's a keeper league, Brady won't be in the league much longer. I'm thinking 2 or 3 years max. Same with Hilton. Hilton will only be in the league for 2 more. mute my mic over here. Fant's a good tight end option, but at the same time, he doesn't really have a good quarterback situation to get him the ball. So yeah, I would absolutely do that, especially if Rodgers returns. Worst come to worst, Adams is young. You get one of the top wide receivers in the NFL. If he goes anywhere, he's going to succeed. He's a great wide receiver. So yeah, if that's what the guy is offering you, yeah, absolutely. And I would extend that offer, sure. See what he says. I would even go a little farther if you had to, if he declines it, because you get Adams. That's a really good fantasy asset as well as Rodgers. No matter where they are, if they're in Green Bay, if they're not in Green Bay, they're both two great players and they're going to succeed. So I would definitely
ask you this: why the hell would you put Davante Adams on the block? Don't you have him as your number one receiver going into the 2022 NFL season?
I do.
And Aaron Rodgers reigning
put him
MVP.
On the block. Right. And this is
how many fantasy
duo
points did Fant had? Like 10 fantasy points last year in the last.
He didn't have a great year. That duo right there was the best quarterback wide receiver fantasy duo in all of fantasy. Davante Adams finished the year last year as the number one fantasy wide receiver, and Aaron Rodgers finished the year last year as like the number 3 fantasy quarterback. So like, yes, absolutely. I would do that for sure.
And Combs says that was a rhetorical question. He knew what he was going to say because they're Packers. So. All right, guys, we are going to take our next break. We do have the banter segment coming up, but we're going to skip that since we already bantered for about birth for about
20 minutes.
20 minutes worth. So we are going to do the Buffalo Bills buy sell sleeper here coming up here on the Man Hour, guys. Stay tuned, sit back, relax. We'll be right back.
Hey there, Mr. White T-shirt wearer, dude. Mr. White shirt wearer, dude. Do you wear the same shirt every day?
Same shirt every day.
Do you do the same thing every day?
The same thing every day.
Don't you worry, Mr. White shirt wearer, dude. Now with Man Hour merch, you can spice up your style each and every day. From hats to beanies to shirts, we got you covered, Mr. White shirt wearer, dude. Shop at manhourradio.com. T-shirts start at $15. Shop today.
Why, thank you, manhourradio.com, for this awesome merch. Hats, t-shirts, $15. You can't go wrong.
Pretty obvious in that one. Dak's coming back off. You got Tom Brady and did I mention 22 starters coming back?
When I say Lamar Jackson is trash, I'm not saying he is the worst quarterback in the league. But he is definitely not the best quarterback in the league. When you say somebody is trash, it is based off the perception of the general public.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckheist along with D. Wyatt Williams. And you can find us both on Twitter at manhour_Buck and, of course, manhour_TWW for all your fantasy questions, just like Mr. Brandon Combs had there before the break. So Combsy, during the break here, said, what was the conversation about? I missed it. And Combs, you should know this. Every day on YouTube at 8 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5 p.m. every Sunday through Thursday. And then on Fridays, we do it 8 p.m. as well. On Friday and Saturdays, I should say, we upload the clips. So if you guys have missed any part of the show whatsoever, simply head over to youtube.com/manhour, hit that subscribe button. And the fun fact is that, we upload clips there each and every day. And Drew asks where right here is my pencil holder, Drew. I actually got a bag full of pens right there, if you're curious about that. So are you confused there, Wyatt?
No.
Okay.
I'm good.
I'm just
Man, hey, I gotta show you this.
Yeah.
I got this new thing, and it's called a flat ball. Okay, It's like that, okay? And what it is, it's a golf ball trainer. So for guys like me that have a really bad issue of topping the golf ball, you can set these down and hit them. And if you top a ball, the way you train with this is if you top this, you don't hit it. So you know that you're topping it. So it teaches you to hit on that tiny of a surface. And it's foam, so it can't hurt anything. You can hit it in the house, all that stuff. And there's 6 of them in this little pack. And if you
use
hit
promo code MANHOUR, we get 10% discount, right?
I wish. But yeah, no, if you undershoot on it too, you miss. So it's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, so there you go. Shameless plug for Mr. Wyatt Williams there and his golf game. He will be on the PGA Tour by 2035. So go ahead and mark my words there.
I hope so. That would be cool.
He will be there, much like Aaron Rodgers will be here in 2022 on the PGA Tour. But let's go ahead and jump into the Buffalo Bills. We are breaking down all 32 NFL teams here. Guys, we've broken down their draft picks. We did the live draft coverage. And now we're giving you guys players to buy, sell, and sleeper players for the upcoming season for the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, there, Wyatt, the Buffalo Bills went 13-3 last year, made the AFC Championship game, losing to the Kansas City Chiefs. And, Josh Allen had a great year. Stephon Diggs set records over there in Buffalo as well. So I want you to give me a player to buy this year for the 2021 NFL season for the Buffalo Bills.
Well, and I don't mean to make the obvious pick here.
Josh
but
Allen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm buying Josh Allen because
100%. Can't go wrong.
We finally saw what he can do last year. He finally hit his stride, and that is because of the addition of Stephon Diggs. So honestly, I'm not just buying him. I'm buying this duo. I'm buying the duo of him and Stephon Diggs simply because they were incredible last year. I mean, just incredible. Josh, he can run the ball just amazingly, as well as he has an incredibly strong arm that he can get the ball down the field to Diggs with. I mean, it was a great duo. It was a pair that we needed a long time ago, but never got. It's kind of like what we talked about yesterday, those matches made in heaven,
right?
They only come every so once in a while, the Tom Brady and the Belichick. Now, I'm not comparing them to Tom Brady and Belichick as for greatness, but I'm saying it's a match made in heaven. It worked out extremely well, and I, see it working out again this year. They're a great pair. They're a great duo. So, yeah.
Did you have Stephon Diggs in your top 10? I didn't see Stephon Diggs in your top 10 receivers, though.
They had him at number 2.
Stephon Diggs?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Okay.
Positive.
Okay. Never mind.
I had him at 2 or 3. I think I had him at 2.
You had Devontae Hopkins at 3, and then somebody at 2, then Adams at number 1. So
yeah, it was. Hopkins was 3 and Diggs was 2 then. Yeah.
Okay. I retract what I was going to say here. So I am going to go the non-obvious route here, and I'm going to go to the defensive side of the ball, and I think the defense has to have a great season for the Buffalo Bills to mimic what they did last season. They went 13-3, and I could see 12, 13, 14 wins out of them easily, and an AFC Championship game berth again. It wouldn't surprise me if we saw them lose 4 straight like they did back with Jim Kelly and those boys, right? But I think Ed Oliver has to anchor this defense this year. He has to step up and be the great defensive tackle that we think he can be. I think he is going to do that. And so I am buying everything about Ed Oliver this year. His stats per se are not going to reflect how great a season he actually is. So you're actually going to have to watch the games and do the eye test because people are going to be running away from him all season long. So I am buying Ed Oliver on the defensive side of the ball. So with all that being said, on every side of a buy, there is a sell. So give me a player that you're selling this year.
Yeah, so my sell for them, of course, is going to be Cole Beasley, going with the other wide receiver option. And the reason why I'm selling is because there's been so many issues with him and the GM with the COVID vaccine. The GM is not budging. He's saying, hey, if anybody doesn't get their vaccine, they're not playing this year. Beasley isn't budging. He's saying, I'm not getting the vaccine, so you're just going to have to cut me. So therefore, he's a great slot option and a great number 2 option that's not going to be on the field, I believe, come week 1. So for that reason, it has nothing to do with his abilities because if he were playing, I would have him as a buy or a sleeper. Most likely a sleeper, because I think my buy was that duo for sure, even if he was playing. But nonetheless, I've got to have him at the sell spot. And like I said, it has no reflection to the way that he plays football or anything. It's just simply because of the issues he's got going on with the GM.
Well, and it could also be the addition of Emmanuel Sanders as well, because he is bumped down to a 3 or number 4 receiver on that team now as well. So,
right.
I mean, him getting cut by not taking his vaccine may not hurt the Buffalo Bills as on the surface. It actually looks at it might actually help them in the end. But I'm going to sell Micah Hyde. You should know all about Micah Hyde being drafted by the Packers in 2013, and like last year, he had 70 total tackles, and for a safety that's fairly high. You don't want your safety in that 50, right. 60, 70, 80 tackle range.
You don't want
right?
your safety to have 200 tackles. That's
right,
not good.
So with that being said, but I think teams are going to attack Micah Hyde's side of the field this year, because I think we saw a little vulnerability in the Kansas City Chiefs game, when Tyreek Hill ran past him. He simply just ran past him over and over and over. And I think, the NFL is a copycat league. We see it year in, heck, week to week. If something works against one team, the other team is going to try it. So when the teams play the Buffalo Bills, they aren't going to try to pound the ball at you. They're going to try to avoid Ed Oliver. They're going to run flies down the field at Micah Hyde, and he's going to get burned a lot this year, I think. And it would not be surprised, if he has one of his worst years on record because of that simple fact, just because people saw what happened in that championship game. So why you had the pleasure of watching Micah Hyde for the Packers for quite a few years there. Do you think he will have a bad year?
I don't necessarily think he'll have a bad year. I do agree with you that he had some issues with being, exposed to the fact of that he has had some struggles with the athleticism side of being a safety. Everybody remembers, of course, him getting blown out by Tyreek in that game. So at the same time, I don't think so. I think he's still, in his prime. I think he's at the end of his prime, but I think he's still, caught up in that a little bit. And that's why my sleeper, I'm going with the entire Buffalo Bills defense, because this is a defense that is incredibly slept on. You talk about Ed Oliver, who's going to have a pop-off the year this year. I agree with you 100%. I think this is the year. You've got Micah Hyde. There's a lot of great pieces all over this defense, and this defense does not get the credit that they deserve, and it's because they've got such a great offense, and the offense draws so many eyes because they've got the great playmaker in Josh Allen. They've got Stephon Diggs, who's always loud on social media, on the field, off the field, as well as they've got a nice tight end that's a younger tight end in Knox. As well as they've got a nice 2 running back system. So there's a lot of reasons why this defense gets so overlooked so often. And I think that this is my sleeper pick for the Buffalo Bills, is their defense. Their defense carries a lot of the weight for this team. And I absolutely see that continuing as we head into the 2021-2022 NFL season.
Yeah. And I given you a couple players on the defensive side to buy and sell this year. So for a sleeper pick, I think I got to go on the offensive side of the ball. And I think Mitchell Trubisky is going to be the sleeper pick for the Buffalo Bills, because I think Josh Allen. I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. You are not going to put a backup quarterback. So no, I think Emmanuel Sanders is going to be my sleeper pick for the Buffalo Bills.
That's a good one.
I think that Stephon Diggs is going to warrant a double team almost every play.
Absolutely.
And he is going to excel. He is hungry. What team did he come from? Was it
New Orleans?
And what did he do there? Absolutely nothing, right? And then he came from Denver for that, right?
And he was good in Denver.
So he is hungry for that success, and Stephon Diggs is going to propel that success. So therefore, that's why I got to give him the sleeper pick for that side of the ball. So with that being said, Nana says, night, guys. Love you guys. Hugs and kisses and all that good stuff. We'll definitely see you tomorrow night, Nana. Thank you for being a supporting member here on the Man Hour Nation. And then Drew says, Wyatt, if you are typing the ball or topping the ball, that means you are raising out of your swing too early.
I know, I am. I've talked about it a lot. A lot of people tell me when I swing, I raise my shoulders when I come up instead of just coming straight back. I raise up with it and I go over top of it. I've fixed it a lot since I've started. It's much better than what it was, but I want to be the best golfer of all my friends, which at this moment I am not. So to do that, I've got to work on topping the ball because I want to be the best golfer of my friends and I want to trash talk all of them and tell them how terrible they are and how great I am. So
I actually saw something on TikTok from the golf pro, I think it was. He put some type of like a paper towel roll on his club, and
I saw that.
And he wants the club or the paper towel roll at the end of the club all the way through the swing or something of that. So you could try that as well. I don't know. But clearly you haven't played me in golf,
right
so
now.
you will never beat. I'm the most competitive person that you have ever met, and I guarantee you will not beat me in golf if I put my mind to it.
We got to go golfing soon. I bet I beat you.
Maybe the first time, but after that, I doubt it.
We'll go to Speed right by your house in Sellersburg.
Okay. I'm down to clown, man. Me and the Buck boys are out there, man.
We'll do it.
How we do? You know how we do?
Trip and River will beat both of us.
Oh, 100%. They'll be naked, pooped on the course.
They poop in the hole. The next person comes up to get the ball out of the hole. It's just like, why is there a turd in the golf ball?
Joke's on you. It's not a turd. No. Oh, he called the shit poo. Adam Sandler movie. I love it. All right, guys. We're going to take our next break here on the Man Hour. On the other side of the break, we got some Ohtani coming up here, Wyatt. So we're going to talk some Ohtani. We're going to talk a little bit of Dallas Cowboys. And of course, we're going to open up this floor to our shop talk the last 20, 30 minutes of the show as well. So feel free to get your questions ready, guys. And I haven't seen Joey. Maybe Joey will call in tonight. You never know. But guys, sit back and relax. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this.
Man Hour Nation brought to you by Brooks Roofing and Siding. Contact them at 812-868-7663 or online at brooksroofingin.com. Brooks Roofing and Siding, protection you need when nature strikes.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buck along with the Wyatt Williams, and you can find us both on Twitter at manhour_buck and of course manhour_TWW. And if you be most inclined, head over to youtube.com/manhour, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. And if you miss any part of the show whatsoever, we do upload the clips every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, no days off over here. Grind mode 100%, grinding to get better each and every day. 8 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., 5 p.m. every day of the week. 8 p.m. on Friday and Saturdays. Every day.
Every day we lit.
We also got an extra show happening. Wyatt and Tori are giving you guys fantasy football advice every Wednesday at 10:45 a.m. So there's something extra if you are a member over here. How do you become a member? Simply head over to youtube.com/manhour. Click on that join button. And as little as 99 cents a month, you become a member. But $2.99 is when all the magic starts to happen. You get access to that. All the after shows, the fantasy football podcast. And then, of course, $5.99, you get a t-shirt. $9.99, you get a hoodie. Every year, you are part of Man Hour Nation. So Wyatt and Tori both put in a lot of work on that fantasy show. So guys, definitely help support them. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. But Wyatt, we've been talking a lot of basketball here the last couple weeks. You know, you and Tori were on for a week all by yourselves, flying solo, and you guys talked a lot of basketball. So let's just carry the trend and keep talking more basketball. So obviously we saw the Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns in the NBA finals this year. And then the normal big name teams weren't in there. The Miami Heat, the Lakers, the whoever, right? These were two small market teams in the NBA finals. Did the NBA gain new fans or lose fans by these two small market teams making it to the finals?
Oh, I think they gained, absolutely. It was refreshing for a lot of fans to finally watch a finals for the first time. I mentioned this stat a ton of times on here, but it's a really relevant stat, and it's the reason why there were so many people intrigued with the NBA for this finals. Mm-hmm. This is the first finals since like 2006, I think, that Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, or Steph Curry, one of those three names, wasn't in it. I mean, the only duplicate player that's in it is Jay Crowder, and he played for the Cavs as a role player. So, I mean, and he had a bigger role with the Suns this year. So, yeah, I absolutely think that the smaller market teams, I also think it had to do with the fact that it's two teams that everybody kind of likes. Nobody has a problem with the Suns. Right. Nobody has a problem with the Bucks. Nobody has a problem with Chris Paul or Giannis. Everybody likes those guys. So I think it's the likability that everybody, drew to with the finals.
So mean, like, honestly, the Bucks kind of gained a fan out of me just because, like, I'm a LeBron James fan. So I passively rooted for the Cavs and the Heat, and now the Lakers, and of course I never had that NBA team, and just I like what they did. Like I just like how they don't have
crazy. It's so crazy you're saying this, because I did the exact same thing last night. I was sitting right there on my bed, right next to me, watching the finals. The TV's right behind the computer right now, and I was watching. As soon as the game was over, and I saw Giannis and Chris and all of them, I looked over at Nikki, and I was like, I think I just became a Bucks fan. Like, I really do think I just became a Bucks fan. She looked at me and said bandwagon, but no, I'm the same way. I've been a LeBron fan my entire life. A LeBron and Kobe fan. Those are the two guys who, made me fall in love with the game of basketball. Right. Once Kobe retired, I was only cheering for LeBron. And once LeBron, of course, is now not in the finals, I had to cheer for somebody else. And I gotta that's something else. I want to find a team to root for once LeBron retires. I want to kind of establish a team, which I've never done. So I don't know who it's going to be.
And being a Packers fan, that kind of fits your
right
MO per se. And I can already see people here in the clip saying, "Oh, you guys just liking them because of the bandwagon." No, I like them because they built a team like my Kansas City Royals did. They built within the draft. They built a team. They didn't make a super team. And same thing with the Mavs as well. Like those are the kind of the two teams that I'm like passively rooting for, are the Bucks and the Mavs moving forward, just because they've done Luka. It is just the way they built the team. So with that being said, we've seen the Bucks build a team from the ground up, more or less. So is this the end of the super team era?
No, no. Honestly, I think it's a new beginning of the super team era because two small market teams who aren't super teams got there. I mean, they
Right.
got to that point. Literally, Giannis said after, like he said that he could have gone somewhere and joined with anybody, and they could have won. He said it would have been easy, but he chose the hard route. He made it count, and I think that that's true. I think that it's more rewarding for Giannis than it is, say, if the Nets would have won it this year after creating a super team. It's more rewarding if you're drafted to a place and you start out with a 15-win season and you build that from that point, you build it up to where it is now. I mean, Giannis and Chris, their first season together in Milwaukee, it was a 15-win season. This year in the playoffs, the Bucks had 16 wins. The Bucks had more wins in the playoffs this year than they did in that season where they only had 15. They've literally built that roster and that team from the ground, and they've lifted it up because Giannis is such an incredible player, and because Chris Middleton is such a great player as well, and they've started working together. So, and it's funny because today, whenever we checked all the sports headlines and stuff, yes, they talked a lot about the Bucks, but you know what else they talked about? Who's going to go join LeBron in Lakerland?
Yeah.
Who's going to go join up in Miami? Who's going to go to Dallas? Who's going where? Where's Kawhi going to go and form a super team? So no, I don't think it ended the super team era. I think it just pumped it up. I think that now it's going to make everyone want to be like that, and everyone is going to want to try and resemble what other super teams have. Because if the small market teams figured it out, you should be able to figure out with super team.
Well, you should, but when a super team only plays like six games together in the regular season, we showed that in the end it is team basketball in the end, and like the team is bigger than everything in the end. So Drew has a comment here. He says, "I'm not a Bucks fan, but I am a Giannis fan. I become a fan when I saw him interacting with his family and how much he had fun during the All-Star game."
Yeah.
I mean,
he's such a great guy.
Yeah. I think it was SportsCenter posted a interview of him when he was like 14 years old, and they're like, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" He's like, "I want to go to the NBA and play basketball." Like, it's just, it's just, I don't know.
Right.
It's just
right. It's really kind of humbling, honestly, to see, what all he's done. That's what, like, yesterday, whenever I saw him, the buzzer went off, he ran around a little bit, and then he sat down, and he was just like looking around, and he started crying, and he was just like had the biggest smile on his face, and it was just like, I'm getting cold chills right now just talking about it, because it's such an iconic moment in NBA history. What happened last night? It was incredible. It was really cool. It was two teams that one has never won it, and the other one hasn't won it in 50 years.
Apparently they both have won it. Like the Bucks won it back in 71 per ESPN.
Bucks won in 71. It's been 50 years. The Suns have never won one though, right?
They said they won one back in I think Drew said it was early 70s. I think it was. I'm not mistaken.
I'm gonna Google it real quick and check on that.
But but it was definitely over 50 years for both of them. Like, I do know that. So go ahead and get those Twitter fingers, since you're
zero.
Oh, they've never, but have they made it to the finals at least? I guess maybe.
Yes, they've made it to the finals.
Okay.
I know that for sure.
Maybe that's what it was. Like, they made the finals 50 years ago.
Right.
I don't know. So we talked about, super teams, and like you said, that this will probably enhance the super teams per se, but does the Milwaukee Bucks winning the championship and the Phoenix Suns basically coming out of, making this huge splash, does this possibly make these two locations, these two teams, destination teams, to quote form that super team? Does a Russell want to go to Milwaukee? Does a Kawhi want to go to Phoenix? Like, do you see any of these big free agent names going to these small club teams?
The old saying in sports and in life is really what it is. Winning cures everything. And what I mean by that is, if you're winning championships and you're winning, people are going to want to join your team.
Right.
They're going to want to come. Once Golden State had the 73-9 year and they had already won one championship and then they lost to LeBron on the 3-1 comeback. Once that had happened, KD went and joined them because he wanted to win a championship. He knew he could win a championship there. That's how super teams are formed. You know, this team is capable of winning a championship. I'm going to go join them so I can go win a championship. And I think that, you know, I think Milwaukee becomes a possible destination for that. And I think that Phoenix especially becomes a destination for that because, you know, the one thing that I got to give Phoenix credit on that, you know, will make them more likable, make them want to come, more people want to come to them is the fact that, you know, there's already rumors about Chris Paul leaving. They're super young, which the Bucks are very young as well. But, you know, Booker is extremely young, 3 years in the league, Ayton is super young, 2 years in the league. On top of, you know, Giannis is already 26, you know, still very young, but not as young as them. And same thing with Chris. Chris is like 28, I think, and Drew is 27. So I think they're 27, 28, and 26. So, you know, the Suns are younger, so that will draw people. And you know, Chris Paul possibly going to be heading out of town, possibly. We don't know yet, but there is a possibility of such things happening. So if that does, I think that draws people to want to come join at the point guard position there, especially like a Russell Westbrook, a Damian Lillard, which, God, Damian Lillard and Devin Booker would be just unreal. That would be insane.
Well,
I don't even want to know what that would look like.
Well, so then let me propose this question here. Would these small market teams want these super teams since they kind of have that chip on their shoulder saying, hey, we built this from the ground up. We don't need you. Would they want to welcome somebody like a Kawhi into town or a Russell or
Absolutely.
Damian Lillard? You think so?
Absolutely. Big names draws big money. You can become a big market team really fast over a small market team if you've got Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard coming in. If you've already got Giannis, you know, the more star power that you bring in, the more eyes are going to watch, which means more money is going to be filtered there. So,
would you still become a fan of the Bucks if you knew like they were going to form a super team and bring in KD and somebody else?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, because you kind of always want to root for the underdog, the one that's built it from the ground up, not bring in people in per se, right? Like that's why the Kansas City, you know, my teams were such, you know, heavily liked teams in the World Series was because they literally built it from the ground up.
Right. No, I don't. That's a great question. Honestly, as of right now, what I'm kind of looking at is whatever team Trey ends up at is what my favorite team will be. That's kind of what I'm ballparking right now. Which, if he ends up going somewhere and then heading
what
somewhere
if he ended
else,
up on the Bucks?
Oh my God! If he ended up on the Bucks, that would be crazy.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. I would love to see that happen. But you know, I would love to see him. I would love to see him on any team. I don't want to, you know, single out any teams for that. I would just, you know, but yeah, honestly, it's probably going to be my favorite team wherever Trey lands.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question: If you could, like, you know, put Trey in 2K right now, and you could put him and pair him up with anybody in the NBA, who would you pair him up with?
I would pair, and this has no like, you know. What I'm saying right now is my opinions. This has nothing to do with the opinion of Trey.
Right.
But I would say Golden State because Steph Curry is such a player's player. He is such a great teammate.
Yeah.
He is an incredible all-around player. And on top of the fact of people are overlooking the Warriors because Steph and Clay haven't been healthy for the last 2 years. Once Clay comes back and he's 100% and Steph's 100%, they're still going to be the Splash Brothers. Like, if anything, they've just got deeper into their prime and they're just better. Like, a lot of people
and they
are
signed
really
somebody else, right? They signed another 3-point shooter. Who was that they got?
They got Kelly Oubre's there.
Yeah.
And if they still got Draymond's getting a little old now.
And they drafted
and
a guy
if
too.
James Wiseman
guy from
pans out.
James Wiseman. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy from Memphis. If James Wiseman ends up panning out, which as of right now is kind of questionable, but yeah, if I had to put Trey anywhere, I think he fits system wise. In my opinion, I think he fits on the Warriors, as well as I think team wise, anybody really fits on the Warriors because Steph Curry is such a great all around person and player that he makes everything work. So. Yeah, if I had to choose, I'm gonna say I'm gonna have to go with the Warriors.
And
I'd love to see him team up with LeBron. I would love that. I would really like that. I would, but I would go with that.
That's kind of thought where you was going to say you'd put him in LA, but like this is me just watching Trey in like high school, not at the AAU level or like anything just like that. But he reminds me a lot of Kevin Durant and Tim Duncan. Like they are just there to do their job, and they're there and they're going to do their job as best as they can every time. They're going to give you 100% effort, no matter if you're up by 20 or down by 20. So I would love to see him on the Heat with like Bam and Tyler Hero. Like
that'd
I think
be crazy.
I
could name up 1,000 places right now.
Yeah. I mean, like
even Dallas with Luka, I could name 100 different places that I would love for him to play.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would even go if he's gonna stay New Orleans with Zion, maybe even Memphis with Ja. Yeah. Well, I don't think Zion stays either. No, but honestly, I can't wait to see him in an NBA uniform. That's what's gonna be cool.
So the reason why I brought up Trey. You and Trey have a project happening here. So you want to give us a little shameless plug of what's happening with you and Trey?
Sure. Yeah. We're just kind of, as of right now, we are possibly looking into maybe working together on some media stuff. Not 100% sure where that's going to go yet. But we're kind of looking on maybe doing something together, some kind of a collaboration. So wherever little, I don't want to say too much, but I also want to tease it a little bit at the same time. But it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really cool. So be sure to tune in, be a part of it. But that's within the next month or two that's all going to kind of spring up. But yeah, so there's going to be some kind of a collaboration. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. So stay tuned here on the Man Hour, guys, as we will definitely break all that news because I'm excited to be a part of that project as well. So definitely talk about that as well. So before we head into Shop Talk here, actually, let's just go ahead and jump right into Shop Talk here. Why we have about 15 minutes of the show here left. So if you guys want to ask any questions, feel free to jump in the chat here and let us know. YouTube.com/Man Hour, and we will try to get as many as we can. Drew says he prays that Chris Paul stays in Phoenix. It'd be kind of dumb if he doesn't, to be honest.
Right.
I mean, I think if Chris Paul stays in Phoenix and does Phoenix have any draft picks this year? I don't think they do, right? Because they gave up everything to Oklahoma City to get him.
They might have a first. I think they have one first. I think that's it.
But like either way,
not 100% sure.
If this team stays intact and they don't add anybody and they don't lose anybody, they're favorites to go to the NBA Finals again with CP3 there. So it'd be dumb if he doesn't. He can go to LA all he wants and play with his buddy, or because like him and LeBron are friends, right, or something to that effect. It'd be absolutely stupid to go play with your friends just to try to like ring chase when you can freaking win a ring in Phoenix. And
right.
I think it would mean more winning it in Phoenix than it would LA.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think
a bigger party. I bet
it would. Hold on. What's the number to call in?
Let me
possibly
go ahead.
Get a special caller.
Special caller, great. All right, so the phone lines are 812-406-8384. So feel free to call in, and so I got to sneeze. Why take over for a second?
All right, go get him, Bucky. Sneeze it away. As we are getting ready, we got Shop Talk going. You see it there at the very bottom. Lines are open, 812-406-8384. Call in and ask any sports-related question you have. And also, you can comment them as well. We will get to every single one that we can.
Do what? Why not? You can talk about
we could talk about childbirth if needed too. But
if you guys need to explain it better, I'm here for the next half hour. Who do you got calling in, Wyatt?
Can't say, man.
Can't say. All right, so while we wait on this caller here, let me go ahead and jump back into the comments here. I saw Drew had Drew says if CP3 stays, I'm not sure if him and Dame would get along. Dame is a great player, but has a huge ego. I don't see that in Dame. Do you think Dame has a huge ego?
I see it and I don't see it at the same time. I don't see it as for the fact of like, a teammate. I think he's a really good teammate, but I do think he's got an ego in there, because especially whenever he hits those Dame time shots, and he waves at the crowd, stuff like that. I love it.
I see a competitor. I mean, like, I don't see an ego. Like, sure. I see a person that wants to win. I see a person that, that loves playing the game of basketball. I mean,
sure.
When you celebrate like that, like, like we talk about it like all the time when people do the hat flips and the shooting of the arrows, we celebrate that, but when he does the Dame time wave or whatever, we get all upset about that because he has a big ego. No, like, enjoy the game. Like, you're getting paid millions of dollars to play a game. Enjoy it.
There's nothing wrong in sports with having an ego when it comes to being a competitor. Now, when you have an ego against your teammates, that's when the issue arises. But Dame's never had an issue with his teammates. Him and CJ McCollum are best friends. Honestly, I never thought that Dame would leave Portland and leave CJ. I thought that.
And maybe he won't now. After he's seen the success with Phoenix and like in the Bucks, maybe he has that ego to say anything you can do, I can do better, right? And he will stay in Portland and say, you know what, jump on my back, boys. Or I don't know, something like that. But I don't think he has an ego, Drew, by any means. But I mean, I guess it is your definition of an ego. Like I think of an ego of a person that's always about me. I need more money. I need this. I can say LeBron James has a big ego, because he puts millions of dollars into himself every year, right? he puts millions of dollars into his hairline. Speaking of which, his hairline was fantastic in Space Jam. So
right. I noticed that too. I was like, wow. Yeah. How did they edit that by any chance? I don't know what they did. It wasn't spotty or anything. His hairline looked absolutely, just like the greatest thing ever.
Right? Yeah.
Right. Nice. He did. He looked like he was in Miami.
He looked like he was in what was that? Mount St. Vincent or whatever high school he played at.
Right. St. Vincent, St. Mary.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
I mean, exactly. I wish I could edit my hairline just like that.
Yeah, no.
One more comment here. Drew says, "Imagine if Kawhi went to the Suns." I don't think Kawhi will go to the Suns. He wants to go to Miami or the Mavericks. I think he's made that pretty clear. Don't you think, Wyatt?
Yeah, I think so. He hasn't said it yet, but I think he's made it pretty clear that it's between Dallas, the Heat, and the Knicks. I think is really
he doesn't ever say anything. It's always through his dad, isn't it, or something like that, or
it's his family and stuff like that. Because he's not a big talker. He's really not. He
probably doesn't even have Twitter. Oh Jesus.
Oh man.
Oh. Man Hour Nation. Who we got on the line here, caller? Can you hear it?
No fly zone.
What's that?
This is the official no fly zone.
Blake Zender, Mr. Philadelphia Eagle fan himself.
Yes, no fly zone.
Well, they were flying over you a lot your senior year. What can you say about that?
Shut up, man.
Was it from the poor coaching?
Yeah. Okay. How's the coaching going to go this year?
Yeah, I mean,
you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not coaching secondary. I'm not coaching you, so life is great. No, I'm just man. What's up, buddy? How have you been?
Dude, I'm doing great. Working a full-time job now.
Yeah.
Just living life, man.
Hey, after the show, stay online. I want to talk.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So, you got a question for us?
Yeah, I've got a question for you all. What is the Philadelphia Eagles' predicted record this season? I want it from Wyatt first.
Blake, you don't want me to say it, man. I hate to do this.
Okay. you cannot hate on the Eagles right now. Have you seen who always got? We've got a brand new coach, fresh coach coming in.
Exactly, brand new coach, a quarterback that sucks, a overrated running back that I had in the top 5 for some reason last year, absolutely trash. Receiver core is suspect at best. The defense you could probably start on their secondary. It is so bad, and they're playing the Dallas Cowboys twice. They're playing the Washington football team twice, and they're playing the Giants twice. So right there, 6 losses right off the bat. So Wyatt, go ahead and take the floor before I let Blake really have it.
Let me ask you a simpler question.
Yes, Cowboys go to the Super Bowl.
Have you all seen the rumors about Deshaun Watson coming to the Eagles whenever his allegations get done? Have you all seen that rumor?
I've seen every rumor under the sun that Deshaun Watson's going everywhere.
So first things first.
Deshaun Watson or Jalen Hurts?
For
the Eagles right now.
Well, first things first is the court case is until February of next year. So you're looking at 2022 NFL season if you're waiting for that. So, and the Eagles let Carson Wentz basically walk for pennies on the dime, and they're all in with Jalen Hurts. So
yeah, I mean that's the thing, and Jalen Hurts is all in for us too.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
which is a complete mistake.
I would rather have Jalen Hurts.
You guys would have had a better chance with Mitchell Trubisky at the helm.
What?
I don't know about all that, but
I would take Jake from State Farm over Jalen Hurts.
I don't know, man. Jake from State Farm's pretty good.
No,
he's pretty athletic looking, man. In those red shirt and khakis.
Why? Who's the quarterback from Georgia that plays for the Bills now? Jake Fromm, right?
Jake Fromm, yeah.
Yeah. So
you take Jake Fromm?
Yeah, I like Jake Fromm. I think him and then the dude from Arizona that went to Miami that's now with the 49ers. What's his name? First round pick, Drew Rosen, right?
Josh Rosen.
Josh Rosen. I think they both got short end of the stick, honestly. But
I think Rosen definitely did.
So what do you think the Eagles are going to do this year?
Blake, I hate to say this, man. No, I don't think
Cowboys
so.
Win the division.
Yeah, that's what you say every year, buddy. You say that every year. When's it going to happen? That's my question. When's it going to happen? When's the talk going to stop?
2021.
When are they going to get rid of Jerry Jones? And when are they going to actually start making another franchise? This isn't back where, we're not living in the old age, anymore, okay? The Dallas Cowboys are long forgotten, and they'll probably never win the division again. Seriously.
Okay.
Blake, are you explaining the Dallas Cowboys or IU basketball?
Shut up. Don't even get me started about IU basketball. I'll have a whole other thing for you.
So Wyatt has literally been waffling around this answer for 5 minutes now.
I got it.
Hashtag waffle in the comments.
Right. Blake, I say Max, and I hate to say this because I'm like my backup team is the Eagles because of you and your family, and I've spent so much time over there. I hate to say this, man, but I'm saying Max, 6 wins, man.
What?
Yeah, that's Max for me.
Man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I don't know. Okay. I think they've got a really good shot at getting the number 1 overall pick next year. I'm not going to lie. I think that there's a decent shot at it.
Hey, Blake, if you go to our YouTube page and click on the Eagles playlist, Wyatt actually has them going 2-15 this year.
2-15?
Yep.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It was, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was the Detroit versus Eagles game when he's like, this is going to be the best game of the year for both teams because they'll be battling for the first overall pick, at this point.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So, yeah.
You all are just doing this because you don't like me. Come on.
Blake, you are my friend. I like you, man. It's just the Eagles suck. That's just the way it is.
It's a rough year for the Eagles, man.
Yeah.
Come on. You all say this every year.
Blake. I would rather root for the Jets than the Eagles.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my! Give me a break.
If I had to root for a team in green, it would be the Jets over the Eagles 100% of the time.
I really wish we had more time because I want to talk to you all about IU too. I really want.
Let's do it.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
We got 10 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
IU may win the Big Ten championship this year. I can tell you that
Nope.
right now.
We're talking.
I'm more confident
We're
in
talking
IU than
basketball,
Eagles.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I am
Just
more
making sure.
confident right now in IU basketball than I am with the Eagles. I mean, seriously.
Well,
And
yeah,
you
I
can't tell
get
me you
that.
aren't saying. I mean,
No, I
I'm
am
very
more confident
about
in
basketball.
IU basketball than the Eagles because IU basketball at least won't be the worst team in their conference. So,
Well, no, I'll tell you one thing. If our new coach does good, then I mean, I don't know. He's either going to do really, really bad, or he's going to do. Really, really well.
I don't like Woodson. I'm not gonna lie.
You don't like
I'm not
Woodson?
a big fan of him. He hasn't done anything.
So Blake, let me ask this.
Recruit.
This, I mean, like, you are a young IU fan, so like, were you around when Bobby Knight was there? Because like, I was still young, I
No.
think, when Bobby Knight was still around. So
No, all of
no.
us missed him.
I've watched a lot of old games and stuff.
right.
I have,
Yeah.
but I know I never got to watch the actual era of Bob Knight.
So my
So no.
question is, why do IU fans always want a quote IU guy? Like, he has to be like born in Indiana or went to Indiana.
Yeah.
Like why is that?
I mean, that's a very good question. I think it's just, I mean, I don't know. Me and Wyatt have had this talk before. Hoosier Hysteria. I mean, you know, all of us know I mean, basketball in Indiana is different than anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because they know that history. I guess that's what they want. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it would be a bad thing to go outside of the area, but I think the reason they do it is because just Hoosier Hysteria and then grown up, they know IU basketball.
So let me ask you this question. You have to be a history buff to know IU basketball because they haven't been good since prior 2000, right?
Okay. I mean, we had a few good years with
There's like what, two? And that was whenever you guys had what, Victor
2016?
Oladipo and Cody Zeller?
Yeah, man.
How'd you do in the tournament that year? Was that a first round exit or a second round exit?
We made it to the Sweet 16.
Oh, okay, so third round exit. My bad.
Like Syracuse, right, Wyatt? Correct.
No, that year that they had all of them, they lost to Kentucky in the second round, I believe, or the third.
Yeah, it was Sweet 16. I'm pretty sure I have it pulled up here. So
It was Sweet 16, and they lost to Kentucky with Anthony Davis because Anthony Davis and all went on to win the national championship that year.
Yeah, that was the 42-0 team, right?
No, Kentucky
They
didn't
lost
complete the
Wisconsin.
undefeated season. Frank the Tank
Kentucky
Kaminsky at Wisconsin beat him
That's right.
Yeah, Kentucky lost to Wisconsin. Yeah, it was the greatest game of life.
in the Final
Other than
Four.
when Watford hit the last second shot. Other than the one Watford hit the last second shot.
Other than the Watford shot, it's the greatest day in IU basketball history.
But Blake,
And
like,
it wasn't even IU playing.
Right.
Blake, I'm not trying to get your goat by like any means. I mean, like, it is very easy to get your goat. Just say the Eagles suck and IU is going to go winless, and I win every time. But
Oh my God.
but legitimately, IU basketball hasn't been relevant since you've been alive.
What?
It's true.
Get out of
Come on. Come on, it's true.
Like, when is the last time like you go into, I don't know, December and you look at your team like, man, we got a really good team that can compete. Was it last year and then you guys lose like 17 games in a row to like non-ranked guys? Like,
No, I mean, last year we couldn't hit our foul shot. I mean, you go back. I think me and Wyatt the other day, I believe we went back and we looked at our stats from the free throw line.
yeah.
And I mean, that changes everything.
Was that before or after your point guard started sleeping with the coach's daughter?
That was 2 years ago. Okay, you got to think that was 2 years ago. That wasn't last
Once
year.
that issue happened, they lost 12 straight after winning 12 straight and ended up knocking themselves out of the tournament.
Yeah,
Isn't
happened.
that what it's so?
Blake, I think IU is probably at best the third best team in the Big Ten. I don't think they're the number one. I think Ohio State and I think Purdue are both better, and I think Wisconsin possibly is better. And Michigan.
Good.
Sorry, they're four. Michigan's better, and I think Michigan State's got a shot at being better. And Iowa's not.
Ohio State?
The Big Ten is stacked. So said Ohio State's definitely better.
yeah, you said Ohio State. Yeah, Ohio State. Yeah, I mean, that's actually surprising, man.
What
how
about
well
Illinois even?
Yeah, Illinois. Oh yeah, Illinois. Definitely.
Do they still have that one big guy? What's his name?
I think Kofi stayed.
Yeah.
Kofi stayed, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So Blake, let me ask you this question. You did a lot of film for the Indiana High School Athletic Association while Wyatt announced games, and you saw Trey Kaufman play a lot of basketball games. Do you think Trey can beat Indiana and the Purdue, or do you think Indiana is legitimately better than the Purdue?
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say I know a lot about Purdue's team this year or who they have coming. I know a lot about Trey.
Right.
I got to watch him play a lot, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I know a lot about Purdue or what they have coming in. But I can tell you one thing: Trey is an amazing player, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And that's another thing. I remember sitting down with Trey. I think it was in Madison, and he said something about if I rooted for Purdue, then he would get me like seats by the. What was it, Wyatt? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, something about like an autograph or something, and like courtside seats.
But no, it's going to be hard. I mean, that game, I'm going to be rooting for Trey, but at the same time, you know what I mean?
See, Blake, you're going to be in the same position I am, where I'm going to root for Justin Fields, but I'm going to be like, screw the Bears, right? Like, I'm going to root for the Justin Fields, but at the same time, I'm going to be mad that the Bears are doing good. That's kind of how you're going to be with Trey and Purdue,
your
right?
friends to do well, like have 30 points, but I want you to lose by 35 points. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
So like Trey, you go out there and score every point, but just don't.
Just miss those last 3 foul shots. That would be fantastic in the last minute.
No, I mean, Purdue always has a good team. So, I mean, literally always. I can't remember the last year that Purdue has not had a good team. Football is a different story, obviously. But
let's dabble in some IU football. We saw last year, they had a great season. Who is their quarterback? Penix, right?
Yeah, Michael Penix.
He tore his ACL last game of the year. Do you anticipate them being good this year, or are they going to come back crashing back down to reality on a 500 team?
No, I guarantee you IU's going to be good this year. I mean, so many people are invested with that program right now. I mean, we've had so many recruits coming in. It's unbelievable. Like, I don't remember the last time that IU football has got this many recruits.
Who's their coach again?
Honestly.
Tom Allen.
What's his name?
Tom Allen. That's right.
Tom Allen? Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't remember the last time that it's just like I look at my phone, it's recruit after recruit, popping up.
This is the best. It's the best IU football recruiting class, I think, of all time. It has to
top
be.
10. Are they top 10?
Because nobody. IU football is known for nothing. It's always been a basketball school.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, Indiana's at basketball state, right?
Obviously, that's what we were talking about. But I honestly think our football team may be better than. I mean, I don't know. I mean, our football team's looking pretty good this year. With all the recruits we have coming in and stuff.
Yeah, there was also another football team that was looking pretty good last year, and you guys kind of shit the bed a little bit. Who do you blame that on? Who do you blame that on?
I mean, maybe our starting quarterback tearing his ACL or whatever it was. I mean, that has a little bit to do with it, don't it?
I wasn't referring to that.
Right.
I was referring to the Eagles. I was referring to this green team that wears some gold every now and then, and
gold. It's gray.
Yeah. Gold. What are you talking about?
It's green and gray.
The team starts with an F. It ends with an S.
Okay. No, we're good. Now I got you. You know what he's talking about? Blake?
It is over Blake's head, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you are like 5'5". I actually think Combs. I actually think Combs is taller than like you are.
Hold on a second.
He's talking about the.
How tall are you? 5'7.5". Certified.
No. Okay,
certified midget.
Here's how I know because my girlfriend's super tall. She plays volleyball. She's like 5'9".
So
and I'm
taller than
her.
You are not. You are not an inch taller than 5'9". There's no way you're 5'10".
I am, dude.
Are you wearing cleats when you guys go on dates? Like, are you wearing those 2-inch cleats when you go on dates?
No, actually, I've been researching different things that make myself taller, like some stalls or something.
Get on TikTok and they have these
Why do you
soul inserts that add like 3 inches.
Nick just said he's been researching things to make himself seem taller.
Yeah.
So I do hear if you shave your pubes into a top hat, it adds 3 inches.
I mean, some points. I mean, desperate times call for desperate men.
Yeah, I mean, I know you are a white Irish man, so I mean, you need all the help you can
Irish. Is it Irish?
get. Whatever you are.
I mean, I don't know.
You are half white, half Mexican, or something like that, aren't you?
No, but
he's 75% Donald Trump.
75%.
Yeah, I mean that's what I like to identify as.
Hey,
I can identify. Well, never mind.
So speaking of which, Wyatt on the after show told us an amazing story about you and Donald Trump. Do you care to share a story about Donald Trump, about how great of a president he actually was?
Oh, I mean, can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. Yeah.
This is the man. Dude,
oh, he's a great president. I mean, did you all watch UFC 264 the other night?
The what?
UFC 264 with Conor McGregor and Poirier.
I didn't.
Oh, well, that's because. Oh, never mind.
Fighting's overrated.
Okay. Yeah. Huh?
I'm a lover, not a fighter. You know that.
No, you're not. That's why you were telling me about the stories on the sidelines about how you would beat people up and spit in their faces on the football field.
I never spit in anybody's face. So, fun fact: I never spit in anybody's face. I did never Bill Romanowski anybody. I did drag my testicles across a lot of faces, though, getting up off the pile. Yes, you are 100% correct.
I'm surprised they were big enough to do that.
I mean, they were back then. Now they're in a jar above the refrigerator.
No, but what I was getting at is, Donald Trump pulled up UFC 264.
Oh yeah, I did see him talking to Joe Rogan.
A huge just clap and roar, but
Did you hear that the joke what Tom Brady said to Joe Biden yesterday?
Yeah.
40% of the people still don't believe that the Bucks won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
Is that over your head, Wyatt? Do you not understand that?
I know what you're talking about.
Tom Brady said 40% of the people don't think the Bucks still don't think the Bucks won the Super Bowl. Is that sound familiar to you, Mr. President?
Yeah, and then the president started laughing. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Politics.
All I hope for in all this crap, I just want a sports season. That's really all I care about right now.
Do you think we're going to have a sports season with the Delta variation of the COVID happening?
I mean, I can tell you one thing. I have noticed a spike because actually I was out of work most of this week and the last week because it was like half of my work got sick and then it was all that coronavirus.
Yeah.
And I haven't even seen it for a while. So that honestly, that's one of the first things I thought about. I was like, oh crap, please.
Do you think COVID is starting to come back because Trump is going to be in office come by August, so they need a reason to get him out?
Yeah, I mean, that's a valid reason, really. I mean.
All right, guys, that is going to be it for the Man Hour tonight. Thank you for joining us, guys, as always. As soon as tomorrow, me and Wyatt will be... Actually, Blake, you want to join the show on tomorrow, man? You got a free half hour? Yeah. So, we'll have Blake join us tomorrow, Wyatt. Does that sound
do it?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a great night. Man Hour out.